And I want to ask you about that, about this trend of, I call it the feminization of men. And I don't mean that physically, I mean that internally. We showed a clip a few weeks ago, and it was two guys and two girls on a podcast. And the guys were vocalizing their feelings, but very much in line with like what would be approved by the two girls on either side of them. Those were their girlfriends, and you could see them kind of walking that line. And the women were humiliating them. They were like talking about past hookups and how they had slept with other guys. And these guys are just kind of shrinking. And I thought to myself, where are the masculine men? Like, where have all the cowboys gone? Like, it's too often that I see that, and I'm like, where are all the guys? What is happening to men? Art of Kicks.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I actually was thinking about this on the drive home not too long ago. Y'all got to excuse this, a reef blower outside of my window right now.
No worries.
Hope y'all can't hear that too loud. But yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. And part of the reason why I can see those guys shriveling away or shrinking down after hearing their women speak about the stuff that they were saying is because of femininity, the movement. The movement was asking and begging for men to be more in touch with their feminine side. On top of the fact that because these women were yelling, screaming to the roof, about equality, these men feel as though, well, look, I can't say too much. I can't do too much. I can't try to put her in her place where I feel I need to because, she's supposed to be equal to me now. She's you know what I'm saying? She's supposed to be on my level, so I have to sit here and let her say and do what she's doing. If I try to shut her up, she might get mad, yell at me, make me look foolish in front of these people. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sit here and let her talk.
I don't know why guys don't process though that women don't want that softness. Like, no matter what they vocalize to you, they want a guy who's going to push back and going to stand up for himself and going to be a man. Because when you're weak and you're in your household and you're acting weak, sure, she controls the house, but you know what she does in her spare time? She's fantasizing about that cowboy. She's watching that rom-com with the guy who builds the house from the bottom up, and she's like, that's a man. She doesn't want that Mr. Softy in the house who's just like, whatever you want, babe. I mean, it's unappealing. So I don't know why guys don't get that message that, like, you need to be a man and just watch what happens. You'd be surprised when you become that head of household and you're like vocalizing how you feel and you're proud of that masculinity and you're showing it. You'd be surprised how a female will react to that because it's very attractive.
It is. I was talking to like one of my lady friends recently, and we came across an incident like that where she was verbalizing some stuff. I was letting her know how irrational she was being, and then she told me, she was like, I love when you put me in my place. It's so attractive. These were her words. So I couldn't agree with you more. But it's funny because, Google did a study back in the 90s, I believe it was. They were trying to figure out, when it came to men and women, what it was that men searched for when it came to pornography, and what it was that women searched for. And what they discovered was that men search for imagery. They wanted to see the visual, and women search for literary. They wanted to see the text. And so they was like, okay, this is interesting. This is fascinating. So they dug deeper. Obviously, the men were looking at pictures and videos, but women, they were searching for like these stories, these fantasies of werewolves and vampires and pirates, these very masculine dominant figures that they had to submit to. So it's like, okay, and that's still a thing to this day. Women that read those type of books, those novels, they still looking for those real masculine dominant figures that will tell them what to do, and there's not a thing that they can do to make that man more submissive to her.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I hadn't heard of that study. I always think of like the movies though that women are drawn to. Like, you think of The Notebook, and women love that movie, and everyone's like, well, but he's a romantic. And I'm like, that guy built a house from the ground up, A. B, yes, he was a romantic. He did love her, but he was a guy. Look at him in the movie. He like's got that big rugged beard. He's like rowing that boat, He's a fit guy. He's a sturdy guy. You even see him acting out, like in terms of like when she's away and he knows that, he's not in touch with her. He winds up having that affair with a woman that he doesn't really love, but he's just like acting on those male impulses. I mean, yeah, I say that's the guy. He wasn't sitting and pining away and like, he wasn't a simp. He was in love with
Right.
a woman, but he was getting his shit together too. And by the way, building a home and a life for her if she returned. So he had all his shit in order when she came back. If you want to watch the full episode, you're going to click right here. And if you want to ask me a question one-on-one, you want to do a one-on-one FaceTime with a group of your friends, whatever you want, you need to download Connect right now. Click right here and let's get talking.